Hi, this is ICT8. We're going to be continuing on with our Photoshop assignment diversity poster. So we want to bring in a background. I'm just going to drag it in. Okay, we would like this background image to have about 1,000 pixels wide. If it's not 1,000 pixels wide, then your objects aren't going to show up well for when you're duplicating it. If it's way more than 1,000 pixels wide, we should change the size. So this is too big. And the problem with Photoshop is the files get extremely large if they're over 1,000 pixels. So we want to just resize this. 1,000 pixels. And you'll probably want to zoom in or fit the area. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay. And let's talk about the type of images. Okay, so we want half our images where we can use a new tool called Magic Wand or Quick Selection, and the other half to use masking. So if we have a solid color background, or mostly solid color background, we can use our Magic Wand tool. And for the objects that we're duplicating, we want our pixel resolution to be about 300 pixels wide. So this is a little bit too big, but that's okay. Try not to get it much more than 500. Otherwise, the Photoshop file, again, is going to be very large. Okay, so I've grabbed this image. I've saved it to the desktop. There are other images. Let me just check here. And I believe it's this image. Okay, so if we get an image and there's a checkerboard pattern in the background, it's already done the erasing for us. So please do not pick this type of image because you're not showing any work. Make sure it's just a solid color in the background. So this will show up as transparent in Photoshop. It's done the work for us. Okay, I'm going to drag in the teddy bear. And I'm just going to click OK for now. And we want the Magic Wand tool. That's the fourth one down. Okay, and if I click on this, it will try to pick out the solid color for me. Notice the shadow is not included, and that has to do with the tolerance. So it says, how close to this brightness are we? So if I make it 50 and select again, now it picks up a little bit more of the shadow. And this tolerance can really go up to about 250, but we don't ever want to set it that high. So if we set it too much, it grabs too much. Okay, so it's grabbing all of this area for the teddy bear. So just keep playing with this number until you grab the right amount. So for this picture, I happen to know that it's 100. Okay, before you can delete this area, the solid color, you need to rasterize. I know I said don't rasterize before, but for this technique, we do need to rasterize. And then just hit delete. And then we deselect. Okay, and then we have our teddy bear. So now I can transform this teddy bear. So we click on Free Transform. Notice that if I drag the corners, it doesn't keep the aspect ratio. There's no way to preserve aspect ratio on Photopea with the corners, but if we click on this icon between the W and H, it will fix the aspect ratio. But if you don't fix the aspect ratio right away, you'll lose the aspect ratio. So make sure you click on that and then click the check mark. Okay, so that's one teddy bear. We need to duplicate this object. So we want to right click on the name and we can duplicate the layer. Now it's duplicated here. We don't see it over here. We need to go back to the Move tool, and it's right on top of the other one. Okay. And now we can transform this one. I'll just rotate it. And I'll shrink it down a bit. And make sure the aspect ratio is preserved. And let's call this smaller teddy bear. So double click on the name, and you can rename your layers. Okay, I can duplicate this one. And again, move it out. And I'm just going to rotate this one, retransform. And I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller and preserve the aspect ratio. And I'll call this the medium teddy bear. Okay, so if I move the small teddy bear, it's on top of the big teddy bear. And the medium teddy bear is also on top of the big teddy bear. So whatever layer is the highest in this list, that gets drawn last. So if I want to make the bigger teddy bear show on top of the other ones, I can just move it up. Okay, so that's how we control the layering on the image. At some point, you're going to have a lot of objects, and you'll want to use folders. In fact, you're required to use folders. I'll say folder, and we can drop each object into the folder. Okay, and we just need to move it a little bit. Notice how these ones are indented. That means they're inside the folder. Okay, and the advantage of using the folder is I can click on the folder, and then I can move all of the objects as a group. And I can turn them off. That way it will make managing all the different objects we have on the screen easier. Okay, I just need to grab a few more things. P symbol. Now this has a transparent background. That's okay. I'm not using this as my final image. So I'm just going to save that. And let's drag that in. Don't forget to save your links. Okay, and I'm going to move this down to the bottom. That way I can overlay it. So what this will do is it'll allow you to line up your objects. Okay, and in the end, I'm just going to move that out. Yeah, I just needed to move that out of the folder. And in the end, if your objects create your metaphor perfectly, you should be able to just turn this off and people should be able to recognize the symbol. I'm not going to take the time to do the whole peace sign, but I'm just trying to give you an idea. Okay, and then we want to add other objects. And I'm going to accept that. And what I want to do is use the masking. So I want to layer and I want to raster mask and I want to show all and then use the brush. And I'm just going to quickly do this because you already should know how to do this. So it's just a review. And we're going to have that black. I'm going to paint that out. And we need to be on the mask layer. Okay, I'm only going to do this quickly and it's not going to be perfect. because we just don't have time. Okay, that's good enough for this demonstration. And then we want to transform, and I'm going to scale it down and preserve the aspect ratio and move it onto the peace sign and duplicate. Oops, I need to click on this before duplicating. Duplicate. Actually, before I duplicate, there's a slight error there, so I should fix that. Okay. Duplicate layer and move. And I'm going to want to rotate this a bit. Click OK and duplicate it again. And move. And transform. So with the rotate on Photopea, you need to actually be close enough to the corner to get the rotate. And if you're way too far, it just ends up moving the object. Okay, and again, you should use a folder. And I'll place it into the folder. And what we can do with the folder is we can duplicate the folder as well. Now that I've duplicated it, I can edit and transform, flip horizontally, and move the whole layer and put it on the other side. Okay, so you can do things more efficiently if you learn how to use folders properly. And that completes this lesson.